The Mini 3 Pro supports the FPV mode, a feature that failed to impress me when I first tried it in the first release of the R2S. In this video we will see if the FPV mode is implemented in the Mini 3 Pro in a more efficient way. In the tab control of the settings of the Mini 3 Pro, there is an option to toggle between two different gimbal modes, follow and FPV. Follow mode is the traditional one, where the gimbal maintains the horizon in a level position even when the aircraft turns horizontally. In this mode the camera can only pan and tilt, but the rolling movement is taken out of the equation. When switching on FPV mode, the aircraft will be able to roll. In other words, when advancing and turning, the drone will lean in that direction, giving the feeling of being inside a small airplane. As expected, this mode works now much better compared to the first version in the R2S. The movement leaning to the side and back to normal is much smoother and without latency. The FPV mode only works when the drone is moving forward. Both sticks of the remote controller must be involved in the moves. When hovering and simply panning, the horizon remains straight. I was a bit surprised to notice that when moving backward, the horizon remains straight while turning. Some interesting results can be achieved by combining several moves, advancing, turning laterally, changing altitude, and modifying the tilt of the gimbal with the wheel of the controller. The FPV modes work correctly in the three different speed modes: Cine, Normal and Sport. When in FPV mode, the intelligent flight modes Active Track, Spotlight and Point of Interest can be engaged, but while using them the camera will not roll laterally. It behaves like in follow mode. As you can see here, we are in Spotlight mode with the FPV mode turned on, but while rotating around this house the horizon remains straight. When rotating the camera to portrait mode, the aircraft behaves like in horizontal mode, leaning laterally while turning. This is excellent news for users involved in social media platforms. The FPV mode is also relatively useful for photography to get unusual images with a slanted horizon. Some may argue that a similar result can be obtained by simply rotating the image in post-processing. But in this case there will be a noticeable loss of resolution, while when using FPV mode the full resolution of the sensor is maintained. I suggest practicing for a good while at a high altitude before starting to get closer to the ground, where the most spectacular results can be achieved. The obstacle avoidance system on the Mini 3 Pro works in FPV mode, but it lacks sensors to the sides and above, therefore a lot of care is needed when flying at the same level as the surrounding obstacles. When flying closer to the ground, it is beneficial to use ND filters in order to get the correct amount of motion blur. For obvious reasons, the FPV mode is not meant to compete with a true FPV drone like the DJI Avata. These models are specifically designed to perform fast, precise moves and are very well protected in case of a crash. With the Mini 3 Pro, I do not suggest going through small passages or other dangerous moves. It would be too risky. It is possible to buy goggles and a motion controller stick for the Mini 3 Pro to get an experience closer to the one of a true FPV model. As some of you know, I'm not sponsored by any manufacturer. I don't even receive DJI models in advance, like many YouTubers. I prefer to buy the product so that I can express my true opinion and only recommend to my community products that I find really useful. In my opinion, the goggles for the Mini 3 Pro are expensive, bulky to carry, and also a bit dangerous. From the point of view of regulations, they are borderline, as we are supposed to maintain the aircraft within line of sight. I do not suggest using the Mini 3 Pro as a replacement for a true FPV drone. The FPV mode should be seen as a way to add a bit of creativity to your own footage and photos. Click on this link to watch my video about all the settings for video of the Mini 3 Pro. And don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting. Thank you.